What if we told you that you are part of a virtual country? Yes, you heard that right. Welcome to the world of Bitcoin. This isn't your typical country with borders, governments, or physical currency. This is a country of the digital realm, where the currency is as intangible as the air we breathe, yet as real as the goods it can purchase. Here, in the virtual country of Bitcoin, you are not just a citizen, but an active participant in its governance, its economy, and its future. In this country, nodes are the lawmakers, keeping the rules of the Bitcoin network. They verify transactions, maintain the public ledger, and ensure that the integrity of the network is uncompromised. Miners, on the other hand, are the enforcers. They validate new transactions and record them on the global ledger. Through complex computations and immense energy, they protect the network from fraudulent activities. But what about the buyers? Well, they are the voters. They determine the value of Bitcoin not by coercion, but by choice. Just like in a democratic election, each transaction is a vote, each purchase a testament to the perceived value of this digital currency. Now let's take a moment to draw parallels with the physical world. Governments have conditioned us to believe that pieces of paper, imprinted with the faces of their leaders, have value. This coerced consensus allows these pieces of paper to be traded for goods and services. Doesn't it sound familiar? That's because Bitcoin operates on the same principle but without the coercion. Instead of a centralized authority dictating its value, Bitcoin relies on a decentralized consensus. Its value is determined by the collective agreement of its users. Every time you trade your fiat money, gift cards, or goods and services for Bitcoin, you are participating in this consensus. This decentralized process allows Bitcoin to function as a form of money without relying on any intrinsic value. It demonstrates that money can be established through consensus alone, without the need for a centralized authority or physical backing. So in this virtual country of Bitcoin, it's not about physical value or centralized authority, but consensus that gives Bitcoin its value. You may ask, what exactly is Bitcoin and how does it work? Well, let's dive in. Bitcoin is a digital currency or cryptocurrency created in 2009 by an unknown person using the alias Satoshi Nakamoto. Unlike traditional currencies issued by governments, Bitcoin operates on a decentralized network of computers spread around the world. At its core, Bitcoin is essentially a file that's stored in a digital wallet app on a smartphone or computer. People can send Bitcoins or part of one to your digital wallet, and you can send Bitcoins to other people. These transactions are recorded in a public list known as the blockchain. Now you might wonder, what's a blockchain? Imagine a ledger or a spreadsheet that is duplicated thousands of times across a network of computers. This network is designed to regularly update this spreadsheet, and that's precisely what a blockchain is. It's a type of distributed ledger that records all transactions across a decentralized network. No central authority governs this system, making it immune to government interference or manipulation. So how does a Bitcoin transaction work? When you send Bitcoin, the transaction is broadcasted to the network and collected into blocks by miners. These miners then solve complex mathematical problems to validate the transactions and add them to the blockchain. This process ensures the integrity and chronological order of the blockchain, providing a secure and transparent system for all. Bitcoin is more than just a digital currency. It's a new kind of money that's completely virtual, making it ideal for the digital era we live in today. It offers the promise of lower transaction fees than traditional online payment mechanisms, and, unlike government-issued currencies, it is operated by a decentralized authority. So Bitcoin is not just a digital currency, it's a revolution in the way we perceive and use money. It challenges the traditional notion of money and offers a new paradigm for peer-to-peer transactions, free from the control of any central authority. It's a bold step towards a future where financial freedom is accessible to all. Now let's dive deeper into the power of consensus in Bitcoin's world. In Bitcoin's universe, consensus isn't just an agreement between people, it's the engine that drives the entire system. It is the collective agreement of all participants in the network about the state of the blockchain, the public ledger where all transactions are recorded. So how is this consensus achieved? Enter the miners. These are the individuals or entities who contribute their computational power to validate and record transactions on the blockchain. Miners solve complex mathematical problems to add a new block of transactions to the chain. This process, aptly called mining, ensures that all nodes in the network agree on the sequence of transactions. It's a democratic process where the majority rules. If the majority of miners agree that a transaction is valid, it becomes part of the blockchain. This process is pivotal. It maintains the integrity of the Bitcoin network by preventing double spending, a scenario where someone tries to spend the same Bitcoin twice. It also keeps the network secure from fraudulent activities. In the unlikely event that someone tries to manipulate the system, they would need to control more than half of the network's computational power, a feat that is virtually impossible given the vastness and diversity of the Bitcoin network. But consensus does more than just maintain the system's integrity and security. It also determines the value of Bitcoin. Unlike traditional currencies, Bitcoin has no intrinsic value. It's not backed by gold or any physical commodity. Instead, its value is purely based on consensus. The more people agree that Bitcoin is a viable form of money, the more it is worth. The act of buying, selling, or mining Bitcoin is a vote of confidence in the system, influencing its value. Consensus, therefore, is the beating heart of Bitcoin, pumping life into this virtual currency. So, how does Bitcoin stack up against traditional fiat currencies? Well, let's dive in. At its core, Bitcoin is a decentralized form of currency, meaning it operates without a central bank or single administrator. This is a stark contrast to fiat currencies, which are regulated by central banks. The decentralized nature of Bitcoin gives power back to the people, allowing transactions to take place between users directly without the need for intermediaries. In addition, Bitcoin has a limited supply. Unlike fiat currencies, which can be printed at will by central banks, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins in existence. This scarcity is built into Bitcoin's code and cannot be changed. This feature makes Bitcoin resistant to inflation, a problem that has plagued many fiat currencies throughout history. But let's address some common misconceptions and criticisms. Many argue that Bitcoin is too volatile to be a reliable store of value. However, it's worth considering that Bitcoin, in its relatively short lifespan, has seen rapid growth and increasing adoption, contributing to its price fluctuations. As Bitcoin matures and becomes more widely accepted, it's possible we might see a decrease in volatility. Another criticism is that Bitcoin lacks intrinsic value. But remember, fiat currencies also lack intrinsic value. Their value is derived from the trust and faith people place in the government issuing the currency. Similarly, the value of Bitcoin is derived from the trust and belief of its users in the technology and the principles it stands for. There's also the concern of Bitcoin being used for illegal activities due to its anonymity. However, it's important to note that any form of currency, including fiat, can be used for illicit purposes. The anonymity of Bitcoin is a feature, not a flaw, enabling privacy for its users. While Bitcoin and fiat currencies each have their own strengths and weaknesses, Bitcoin represents a new frontier in the world of finance. So, where are we heading with Bitcoin? What does the future hold? As we delve into the future of Bitcoin, it's important to remember that these are uncharted territories. The potential for growth is vast, yet the challenges are equally daunting. The digital landscape is ever evolving, and Bitcoin, as a pioneer in this field, is no exception. Bitcoin's potential for growth is primarily tied to its decentralization. As more people gain access to the internet, the potential user base for Bitcoin expands. Imagine a world where anyone, regardless of their location or access to a traditional banking system, can participate in global commerce. This is the promise that Bitcoin holds. Yet with this promise come challenges. Scalability is a significant concern. As the demand for Bitcoin increases, can the system handle the influx of transactions? Technological advancements will need to keep pace with demand, ensuring Bitcoin remains efficient and accessible. Regulation is another hurdle. While Bitcoin's decentralization is a strength, it also presents a challenge for governments trying to regulate and monitor their economies. How will nations adapt to a currency they cannot control? This question is yet to be answered. Lastly, understanding and engaging with Bitcoin is crucial. Cryptocurrency is a complex concept, and many are still unaware of how it works. Education and accessibility will play a critical role in shaping Bitcoin's future. The more people understand and trust Bitcoin, the more likely they are to use it. The future of Bitcoin is not set in stone. It will be shaped by technological advancements, regulatory decisions, and most importantly, by the people who use it. It's an exciting time to be part of this digital revolution. While the future of Bitcoin remains uncertain, one thing is clear. Bitcoin has forever changed the way we think about money.